Hello everyone, in case you're new and we haven't met before, my name is Ania Romańska and I'm hosting weekly lives on Facebook where I'm walking you through building a website with the Divi team. And every week we are working on the same site, adding and styling different elements. So thank you very much for joining me. If you have any questions while I'm here, please let me know in the comments. I can see it here on the side, so I will try to monitor it while I'm working. So without further ado, let me quickly show you what have we done last week. 1 second, let me share my Chrome with you. So this is, hi guys, hello. Okay, now I see your your comments. Hi Sophia, hi Miki, thank you for being here. Hi Miko. Okay, it's great. Thank you for joining me. So this is our website, the Webdesign Playground. And last week we've created this lovely navigation with the SVG icons, right? So yeah, for this week, I would like to create a single post layout inside the theme builder. And I actually was playing with that earlier today because on Flywheel, it is super easy to create a staging copy of your website. So I did that and I have a copy of that page here on the different URL, and I created this single post layout you see here, and today I would like to walk you through how and recreate it on the main site. Okay, so I have this title here, below three little blurb modules with author, post date and comments link, and below I have this fun image with my YouTube video embedded, and below we have post content and post navigation with previous and next post link, the nice big links. And I also added some CSS to change the comments section. I always do that for every site I build. I like to move these three fields next to the comment fields so it doesn't take so much space. Okay, so this is what we are going for, and let's see how our posts look right now. So if I view it here, that's the default Divi post layout, right? So we can easily change that within the theme builder, but before I go into theme builder, I would like to actually go to theme customizer. There isn't a lot of things I edit in the customizer, but one thing I like to do on every site is to change the typography, just the font families. So if I change the default font here for header, and unfortunately we cannot search by name, but yeah, I want to use Montserrat. Let me find it. And also for the body font as well. Okay, so, and let's maybe change this default blue to our color. And for body text, I like to use the same color as my headings, but a bit lighter, so like 85 opacity, and headings could be this dark color we're using. Okay, so that's the start. This way, by changing this fonts here, that would be my default font for every module I use in the Divi builder. So I would need to edit the font family for every module. So that's why I change it here. Okay, so I will also change the accent color just so it doesn't, well, we will be creating footer probably maybe next week, but just so it's just so it looks better. Inside the layout settings, we have CM accent color. And just let me change this to, or maybe this one. Oh, that's weird, but I'm sure it's caching or something. Okay, anyway, the font were the important part. So let's save that. And now if I go into the theme builder, we can start creating our single post layout. So back to the dashboard, theme builder. We're going to create a new template for all posts. And we need to build custom body. Okay, now, so it's fairly simple. First, we have our title. So we can use a post title module, but we will disable most of the elements. We only want to use the title. So no meta and no featured image, just the text here. And I would like this to be nice and big and centered. So the title text will actually use a different font, the Bebas Neue font, and I will make it quite big, 60 pixels. And let's also take care of the mobile version while we're here. So for tablet, 50 would be enough, or maybe let's try 46 and 36. It doesn't have to be that huge for phones. Okay, so that's our title, and we want this to be aligned in the center. Okay, so the first section uses a different background color, this light blue background, so I can choose it from my global palette, and it also has a 1 pixel border at the top. The image with the laptop kind of overlaps that, but we do want to add this border at the bottom of the first section. 1 pixel line, just like that. And I do want to add a lot of space here, just to show you real quick. We need that space to be able to move that that next section over this one. So that part needs to have more space in here so that we can use negative margin for that row below. Okay, so let's hide it, and in this spacing, let's add a bottom padding of 350. Then for mobile, sorry, not hover, on mobile, we can decrease that to 200 and 100 maybe. Okay, that should work well. And now below the title, I've included the free Blurb modules, and I want to use a separate column, but for the separate column I need a separate row, and I will use CSS to align them next to each other. Instead of trying to align 3 different columns, I will put all the modules in one column, and then with custom CSS we can use Flexbox to align them next to each other. So below this row with title, we can actually decrease the padding here, and then let's add a new row and a blurb module. Okay, so for these blurbs we don't need any content, and our title is going to use the dynamic fields. So we want author name here, so post author, and before I would just write by, and then it would be author name. And okay, we don't want to link the name because I want the whole thing, the whole blurb to be clickable, not just the name word. So no link here, but instead in the link section, we can use the module link URL and also use dynamic content to link to author page link. It's probably, well, not necessary maybe, since I'm the only author on this blog, but you know, let's just do it the right way, I guess. Okay, and another thing is background. I want to change the background is transparent, and on hover I would like it to be white. So no background for the default state, and on hover the background will be white. An image, I have prepared some icons. Let me find them real quick. One second. Hold on. Oh no. Playground images. SVG. Okay, it was very hidden. So I have 3 icons: user, calendar, and comments. Let me add all 3. Okay, lovely. That was the correct ones. That's great. Okay, so we are doing the author, so that icon is fine, and obviously it's huge, but if I change the alignment in the design to left aligned, it's getting closer to what we are trying to do here. Next, I would like to change the title text. Let's maybe make it bold or semi-bold. That should look nice, but I do want to make it smaller. I think 14 pixels. 14 is, yeah, definitely not more. So for tablet we could do 12, and let's make it super tiny. Or okay, let's leave 12 for phones as well, because we will stack them underneath each other on for phones, okay, on mobile. So okay, that's a good start. Let me think what else I can set up here before I will need to use custom CSS. So yeah, the border is yes, 1 pixel border. With our default dark color. And also let's change the spacing. That's the last part, I think, if I'm not forgetting about anything. Okay, so let's try 10 pixels top and bottom, and 15 left and right. Right now it's full width, but we'll change that with CSS. So, and also we want to remove any margin from the bottom, so they are nice and aligned. Okay, let me duplicate that so that we have 3 of these before we start editing it with CSS. So 1 second. This would be not post author, but also a dynamic field with publish date. Post publish date, here it is, okay, and nothing before or after, just the date. Lovely. And all we need to change here is an image, so my little calendar will work fine here. Oh, and this one, because it will be in between oh, let's get back to it later. It's hard to explain, and you'll see what I mean when we stack them next to each other. Okay, so let's duplicate that. And the last thing is comments. And this time there's no duplicate content. Oh, I need to remove link. But we are going to... No, sorry, there is... the dynamic field for comments is also like post comment count. It would be just a number, so we have to write something before it, okay, with a space, so it's not next to each other like that, but the link, it's not to author page link, but we can use anchor link to with hashtag and comments. That's the default ID of the in WordPress. In Divi, the comment section has the ID of comments, so we can use that, and it will scroll to the comments once we add them inside our template. So that's the link here, and also, oh sorry, an icon. Let's change the icon to little talking bubble, and for the middle one I forgot to change the link, and there's no link here, it's just the date, so we have to remove a link, and I will also remove the hover color. Okay, that should be okay. Let's also, we need a custom CSS class that we can target. Okay, we don't want to target all the blurbs on this website, so we want to only target these three, but instead of adding class to each one, we will use the column to add CSS class to the column settings and not the module. So here in the column settings advanced section, let's call it DL meta, as in post meta, right? Okay, so that's, let me copy it so I won't forget it. Okay, that's a good start. Let's save that for now. Let's see how that looks, not here, but on the single post page. Let's do this one. Let's have a look at. No, obviously I didn't save the, I always forgot to do that, So let me save changes here, so our new template is actually working. Okay, there we go, lovely. There is, okay, this quick fix. We don't want them to be white. We want them to we want them to to have no background. Sorry. Okay. So remove the background, and on hover, it's white, and not on hover, it's nothing. Okay. So let's try maybe extending the, or no, just copy background, paste background. That didn't work. Never mind, we can do that quickly here. So remove, and on hover, just make sure it's white and not on OK. And let's remove the background from here. Okay. And also I want to remove the animation on icon. No animation, and this time let's try to extend animation styles to all blurbs throughout this row. Extend. Okay, hopefully that worked. Now let's save. Okay, lovely. Now to our custom CSS. Our column has a custom CSS class of DL meta, right? And if we use flexbox, so display flex, you see our blurbs are already nicely, they fit together, and we want to align items in the, sorry, not align items, but justify content center. Okay, great. So let me, the same as last time, I will be copying the CSS from here, and I will be adding it to my theme options, custom CSS box. Let's add a comment that it's single post meta. Okay, that's first step. Now let's look into this, we want to align it in the center, right? So the H4 here, the heading, has a bottom padding, so we want to remove that. So all headers inside DL meta, padding 0. There is no padding, that's a start, but we also, one second, we also need to change the alignment. So here you can see that the blurb container is using vertical align top, and we want to change that. So let me copy this and DL meta and ETPB blurb, so we're more specific, and blurb container has a vertical align set to middle. Lovely. Okay, let's copy this. Okay, so the thing I mentioned about border is that the middle one shouldn't have the borders on the side, so we don't have this 2-pixel line here. So back here I can just remove the left and right border from this middle blurb. And while I'm here, we are going to use CSS to stack them underneath each other for tablet and phone. So on mobile, the borders would need to look a bit different. Instead of not having borders on the side, it would need to have border removes from top and bottom. So on mobile, like this, border width on mobile. So it's coming back on tablet, the left border, and the right border on tablet and phones, hopefully. It's coming back. But the top border on tablet is set to 0. You will see in a moment what I mean. Tablet 0. Okay. Oh, you can see it even now here. So that would be pretty much how it will look on smaller screen sizes. So yeah, let's save that. Refresh. Oh, I didn't save my CSS here. So save my CSS, refresh. Oh no, what have I done? Sorry, 1 second, let's sort these borders here. Okay, so border left 0, and then, oh, okay, it's fine. It's just this is the, oh, this is my desktop version and it looks good. And now on smaller screen sizes, for tablets and phones, we have to make them appear underneath each other. So if we can do that quickly, let me add a media query. Max width 980 pixels. So for every screen size smaller than 980, our DL meta will use flex direction column, and that should stack them. Okay, but we don't want them to be full width. Instead, let's do with 80%, but maximum width something around 200 pixels. So our blurb module for the small screen sizes, 80% max width, something like that should work. And we have to align it in the center. So flex direction column and align items, center. Okay, that should do it. Yes, pretty good. Okay. Now the next step. Let's see if our links work. Yeah, that should. It doesn't have any comments now, so it won't scroll anywhere, but it's looking pretty good. So I made an image of the laptop, the icon, this image here, and now let me show you how we can use it as a background behind this video content, because I know, like for this particular page, I know that all of my posts will use the same structure. I will add a title, then I will embed my replay of the video, and below I will share some text and code. So I know that I will use a YouTube embed at the top of every post. That's why I think this layout kind of works. So let me hide that. And now in our dashboard, let's add the image that I created. So 1 second, let me find it. Okay, it's this one. Okay, so this is the image, and I will copy the URL. Okay, and one thing I want to mention, I am using the Gutenberg editor to edit my posts. So I'm not using Divi Builder for each post, because, well, the main reason for me is that it's kind of quicker. I am only sharing a code snippet, so I can simply paste YouTube link. It will change it to embed. Then I just type some text, and below I can add a code block that, well, it works well sometimes with code inside Divi text module. Probably I should use code module, but to display code in Divi, it's sometimes problematic. So for me, it's the okay, I can see someone is asking if the laptop is something I have created. Well, yeah, I kind of purchased it. I use these icons. I purchased as a whole, like this whole set. I will share a link to that resource later. I didn't draw it myself, but yeah, it's just a vector image that you can use. So, okay, I'm using Gutenberg editor, and I'm mentioning it because it will affect how we are targeting the elements inside the post content. So we do need to include a post content module so that our post template actually displays the content of our post. Okay, so let's add that here, post content. And I do want this to go over the top of the section above. So for the row here, I'm going to use the negative margin, minus 350, and then for tablet it was 200, and on phone it was 100 pixels. Okay, something like that. And I do want to make sure that there's no background. It's not on the row. The post content module is kind of buggy. I think you cannot remove that background, but it's really not there. So let's not worry about it. But I do want to make sure that my section is using transparent background. Okay, that's fine. Let's leave that like this for now. Let's save that and let's preview my post. Okay, so there it is. I have my YouTube video and then some text and my code, the content of the post. And now if I inspect that, so this is, let's see, let me maybe make that a bit bigger so that you can see it better what I'm looking at here. we have this, this is the iframe from YouTube, so this part I'm going to ignore because we can't edit it with the CSS that's inside our document. So here we have a figure HTML tag with the, and then inside there's a div, the wrapper div. So I think we can use this element as an part that will have our background image, and then we'll change this wrapper to be positioned correctly within that image. So let me use these two classes and go back to here inside my theme options, custom CSS. I now know that my image, video maybe. Okay, so this class, both of these classes are added to the element that I want to use my background on. I need to copy that background again. Real quick, copy URL. Okay, and now back here. Background, URL, and the link to that image, no repeat. And in a separate line, let's add background size 100% auto, so it's always full, uses the full space of the element, full width. And we also want to define the maximum width would be, that's the size of the image itself. It's 875 pixels. And I think it's already responsive. It doesn't, it should be fine. Let's save that and see how that affected our page here. Okay, so I have my image, but the wrapper is covering the whole thing. So it's right there, but now if I, let's say that my wrapper needs to have max width of 60%, you see, now it will be below. So it's a matter of some calculations, but you have to know what size is the part you are trying to fill inside the image. So let's try 67, and then also let's do margin 0 auto, so it's in the center, and I'm going to use padding percentage value as well, so that it shows more of the parent element. Let's try like this. Okay, that's pretty good start. So now we can play with these values. Let's try 69. That's covering. It's hard to see because my my thumbnail is the same color, but it's pretty close. If I would do 4, it's still, so it could be like 3.8. Okay, yeah, I think that's pretty good. So this should be added to WP block embed wrapper. I have to copy that CSS class because I already forgot it, but let's yeah, this class. Let's copy that. Sorry, I have too many tabs open. Okay, and our CSS like this. This should work. Let's save that. Lovely. Okay, so that's I think a good start. I think I may have added too much padding. You see, it's like more than an image, but it's fine because we do want to have some space underneath here, so that's okay. Okay, so there is a question, why do I prefer using JavaScript instead of image tag? Okay, right now we're not using preparent, it's just a CSS image background, but I did use JavaScript to insert the SVG icons a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and I don't have a reason for that. I could put that SVG code inside the menu item name inside this little field, but I kind of feel like it's hard to see anything in there, so I prefer to have my code where I can see it instead of just the tiny space for the menu item name. But if I could go back to what we're doing now, right now there's no JavaScript involved, it's just some CSS. So we have our laptop image. Let's see how that looks on smaller screen sizes. You see, it's because we are using percentages, it does scale nicely on mobile. Okay, so I think we can now go to the post navigation. I know I'm kind of doing it very quickly, maybe too quick, but I will share all the code on the blog post so you can look through it and analyze it later. But for now, back in the theme builder, below our post content, I want to add a new section with post navigation module. Okay, and here, this section, I want this to have a border, just a single line dark border at the top and at the bottom, because I want the previous and next link to fill the entire space, the entire half of the row. So I want to visually show that part. Okay, so the section can't have any spacing. And now the row itself, we also have to remove spacing, padding 0. And here I will also change the gutter width to 0, so the elements are next to each other. I can equalize, but it doesn't matter. It will be equal anyway, I think. So, but yeah, let's do that. And I want this row to be full width, so 100% width and max width. Oh, and actually, I will use 2-column structure and 2 separate post navigation modules, just so it's easier to edit it with CSS. You'll see in a moment. So column structure, 2 columns, and here let me check my layers. In the last section, row, there's post navigation here, so we want to display previews and not the next one. And let's we can't see it, but let's change the links font to bold. Oh, and let's make it darker. Maybe we'll be able to see it. Not sure why it's not here, but let's make it a bit bigger. Okay, it should be okay. And now if I duplicate this and move it to the second column, and in this column I want to see the next post link. Okay, now I will save that and hopefully we can see it here. Okay, so we have two separate links for previous and next, but I do want to give them more space. I can't add that spacing to the module itself because the link is only the text that's clickable, right? So I want the whole thing to be, I want to be able to click on the whole element. So let's see how we can do that. Okay, that's the mobile version, so they are already stacked next to each other, but for desktop, when we still have 2 columns, we can target these links. We should probably use custom CSS class, but since I won't be using the post links anywhere else on that page, I think we should be fine using that same selector. So we want to use padding and a lot of it, so something like that. Only this one. Post nav. No, not like this. Okay, we want to make sure that, yeah, I know, this is floated, so we don't want to float these links. So any first span inside the, or maybe span nav previous and nav next, probably it's called. Yeah, okay, so let's do that. Float, none. Okay, and now we can also display block, so it fills the entire, you see now it fills the entire available space, and our link inside the, sorry, here, inside the let's add some padding to that link. Let's save that. Let's check how that looks. Okay, lovely. So this is basically what I was trying to achieve. I just want to right align this. Oh, and a element needs to be as wide as the container as well. So we can see it better. It should do it, and then we can also add transition and background color. Sorry, transition. And on hover, we can change the background so we can see actually where the link is, so you know what I mean. On hover, and this one on hover. Let's use the same color as we are using on our navigation. It's here. Okay, and back here, background blue or teal or whatever you'd like to call it. Okay, that's pretty good. You see, now the links are taking the whole space. Okay, and now only the last thing I want to change is the alignment of this text. I would like to align it to in the center. I think that would let me close that. Okay, so span preview, this one. I think it will be this one, text align right. And that should move it to the center here. Okay, great. Now let's see. We should probably change the text alignment on mobile and also the padding, right? So they are closer together, and we can also add a little border, but we can do that inside the module settings. So for mobile, let's do text align left. Also on tablets and phone. So this part again here, but to the left. Save. And in the theme builder, our post navigation, left side module can use the border on the right side, 1 pixel, global like this, and on tablet, no right border, but we do want bottom border. Okay, sorry, just on tablet, yes, like so. None here and 1 pixel here. Yeah, that should do it. I can't really see it when I'm changing it, but yeah. Let's save that. Refresh. Oh, we have to change the, I forgot to, but the alignment is correct, and we have this nice border in here, so that also looks fine. One last thing is to change the padding on mobile, so I think it can use 50 from each side. That should be fine, I think. So let's save that. Refresh and check the mobile version. Yeah, lovely. So below the post navigation, we have to add comment section, right? So back in the theme builder, I will add another section and comments module. Now here I would want to change the title font to my Bebas Neue. Oh no, not the form title, sorry. Let's change it to default, but the comment count title. Okay, and let's make it nice and big. Maybe 50. Oh, sorry, 50. And then for tablet, it's just one word, so it can be quite big. And the main thing I would like to change in the comment section is my fields. So the fields background will be white, text will be dark, that's all fine. Background to here we have text color, but I do want to show you the CSS to align them, and I think we will need to finish that maybe next week, but to style the buttons, we'll do the buttons next week, but let's just finish the comments form so it looks nicer with just a few lines of CSS. So there's a single line border, that's like the simple, I think it's fine, it should be pretty good. Oh, one thing I would like to change here is to change the width of that module and set the maximum width. I don't like the comments to be so long, it's hard to read if the text spreads across the full row. So in the sizing section, let's change the maximum width to match our laptop image, 875 pixels, and the same thing we can do to our post content here. Sorry, sizing maximum width 875. Okay, let's save that. That should get us pretty close, I think. Okay, let's not worry about the button here. I do want to use the fun CSS for that, so I will show you that in a moment. Let me show you how that looks here, this effect here. But yeah, we don't have the time for today. I will finish that next week, but right now I want the comments to be aligned like so, and by default, if I open up that page in my incognito browser, that would be Playground. here. Oh, we have to center align that as well. It's not in the center. And the post content is not in the center, but that's easy to fix. You see how the comments look by default. It has this full width comment section. So we can use CSS to change that. It's very, very easy. So let me quickly show you. Okay, one second. This is we have to look at the paragraphs. Each form field is added inside the paragraph in WordPress. So this is the P with a class comment form comment. If I click here, I have this here, and now I can change the width to, well, I know that these fields are 47% wide. So if I set the field to 51% width, and I have to float it to the left, and I can add margin on the side, margin right, and since these fields are 47, I have 51, so there's 2% left. The margin can be 2%, and that usually works very well. But the problem is this field here is also getting floated, and we have to clear the floats for that field with the cookie consent or whatever. Yeah, comment form cookies consent. That's the form name. So one second, let me go here. Single post comments. Okay, that's one part. And back here, I want this P to use clear both. You see how that moves it below the elements that are floated. So clearing floats helps you to move the content below. So, okay, we can hide that. And now P with a class. Clear both. Okay, so I think that's a pretty good start for our single post template. I think it looks pretty nice. Oh, okay, so if you're if you're logged in, it doesn't look so nice, but this site won't allow anyone to log in, so I won't be worrying about it now. We have a nice navigation. Oh, let's fix this. Let's move this part and well, it's basically our post content module that needs to be centered, because I changed the maximum width, but I didn't align the module in the middle. So that's the problem here. Refresh. Lovely. Okay, so there we go. I think it's a good start. It looks better actually here when we are logged out. So yeah, let's refresh that. I hope you like it. Okay, let me see if we have some comments. Can I send a replay of... Well, I will be uploading all the live videos to my YouTube channel, and then it's available, well, here on the Playground website. So if you go to playgrounddeveloper.com, in the tutorials section, you will see all the previous live videos right there, along with the along with the code I'm using. So I try to include the replay and then what CSS I've added, so you can easily copy that. Okay, Mickey says that thank you. Yeah, it's very it's like normal. I think everyone does that. It's like impossible to anticipate everything you will need to edit for the place you are actually editing. So it's like a lot of going back and forth in Divi and generally in web design. You check how it looks, then you edit it, and then go back and so on. So yeah, the fun part. Thank you, Sofia. Thank you for your support. Thank you for joining me again. It's great to have you. I'm very grateful. Thank you all. So it was very fun. Thank you for joining me. I think next week we can finish, style the nice button effect and maybe work on the footer. And I think we have to probably think of creating a child theme for that website because the custom CSS box is getting a bit crowded there. So yeah, enjoy your weekend and I'll see you next week. Bye.